Welcome to episode 4 of these SemCom demo videos. As we explained in the introduction video, which we will link below, SemCom makes it easy for developers to dynamically load web components for different and unknown kinds of data. So in this video, we'll explain how we add components to the SemCom network. So if you've created a component, you must host it in a publicly accessible location. This can be a solid pod, a website, etc. It really doesn't matter as long as it's accessible using a URI. Once that's done, the metadata that describes the component still has to be added to the SemCom network via a SemCom node. So we've created the first implementation of the SemCom node specification using a solid pod as a storage backend. To support this, we've created an application that allows a user to authenticate themselves to a SemCom storage pod, and then if they have adequate rights, they can add component metadata to that pod. All components in a network of SemCom nodes will then be synchronized. So let's take a look at the application. First, the user has to enter their web ID, and once they've done that, they click Connect, and then they choose an identity provider to log into. For us, this is a locally running instance of the community solid server. So the user enters their email and their password and logs in. Once they've been authenticated with their IDP, they must then select a store from the list, or they can manually provide a store, which I will do here. Once again, this is just running locally. Once they've provided a store and they click Next, the application will then check if they have access to the store. And if they do, they'll be presented with a form where they can input all the metadata that is necessary to upload the component. So the URI, for example. I'll just take an example here. Let's act like we're uploading a profile component. Then they must provide the label. In this instance, we'll use profile component. They have to add a description. So this is a profile component. The author, and finally the tag. That's the tag that will be used in the HTML as we explained in episode 3. Then they have to provide a list of shapes that the component will fit into. So I'll again use an example here. They have to provide what version of the component they're uploading and if it's the latest version of that component. And finally, they have to provide a checksum to validate the components. Then when they click Save Data, the component metadata will be saved to the pod and it will be added to the SemCom network. And that's it.